was not 5 minutes, Mr. Coolest.
Yeah, it was. I measured it.
I know,
All
but
right.
I was like, I'm gonna tell Mr. Ellis about this because we're learning about lymph nodes.
According to measurements given in the figure below, which of the following expressions gives the distance in miles from the boat to the dock? You can do this. I'm going to put an X there. You guys give me an equation for the X. This is a straight up one you can
This
do.
was, yeah,
Straight up.
boat to dock.
Oh, that was so dog water easy. I think, unless I did it wrong.
If you're completely lost, you can look up for a hint.
Opposite over adjacent.
So, oh, well, I could have looked over here for a hint.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. That was so easy.
So tangent
And it's number 42.
of
So I'll
52
probably overthink it. but-
is equal to opposite X over adjacent 30. So my X value, which I'm looking for, is equal to, that's a multiplication, the tangent of 52 times 30. And they don't even make you hit the button.
And there's only one tangent.
Set up.
If I had cancelled
Oh, and there's only one tangent, so I got it right.
Oh my god, guys, let's both make a wish.
Can we get Make-A-Wish
All right,
Foundation to sponsor?
43.
I don't know what my make
Circle
was.
graph below shows the
This is too
distribution of registered voters by age for a community. Registered voters are randomly selected from this distribution, blah, blah, blah. What are the odds in the age range? What are the odds of in the age range, colon, not in the age range? Wow. I would not have written it like that, but they did. That the first person called for jury duty is in the age range of 25 to 15. So in the age range is, what's the first person what are the chances it's 25 out of 35? So that's what? 42%?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the ratio of in the age range to not in the age range. So what's left over for all the other ones?
60.
58%?
58.
I don't know. What's 0.42 over 0.58 math frac?
What did you just say?
Well, I would go 0.42 divided by 0.58 math frac. So I'm literally talking about this.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
0.42 divided by 0.58, and if you did not know that, these things contain a fraction button. You can math and hit that fraction, and it will fraction it up 21 out of 29.
Whoa,
Oh.
whoa, wait.
That's even an answer.
Gosh, it's so easy, but there's so many words.
Well, I mean, it's so much of it is reading comprehension. That wasn't even math, that was reading comprehension.
So is the
Can you
next
read a
one.
graph?
Oh, yeah.
This is where I start to lose it, Mr. Coolest.
Me too.
All right, we gotta stay focused. Here we go.
I don't know if I can go out the window.
This is the key to is like focus. All right. We have a glass panel at this antique shop. Seams separate the pieces on the panel. All red triangular pieces shown are congruent and have common vertex with each adjoining triangular piece. The two squares shown are inscribed in the circle. Two squares. Oh, the squares of the panels.
They're like,
The diameter of the panel is 2 feet. All right, I think I got the pertinent information. The red ones, yep, so their red pieces are all these pieces. We have red, we have orange pieces, and then it'd be nice if they colorized it, but whatever. The design of the stained glass panel has how many lines of symmetry in the plane of the panel? All right, here they are.
maybe 8?
1,
Symmetry?
I think it's
I'm gonna go
2,
16. I don't have any
Four?
solid evidence
Isn't there
against it.
infinitely?
4 or 8?
nope, 3,
It has to like hit in the seams.
Oh, it doesn't hit the seams.
Yeah.
Got it.
4,
Oh, shoot, I didn't even count those. Yeah, it's definitely 8.
5,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It was 16.
Because I was just counting the points and.
uh-oh, I missed that one.
Wait, that's me cutting the cookie.
I missed that one.
Wait, no.
I don't really
5,
like cake.
6,
I like ice cream cake.
7. I
like
see.
ice cream cake.
I see 8 lines of symmetry.
And I like
Yeah.
wedding cake for the most part.
I love carrot cake.
Lines of symmetry, if you think about it, just don't forget this. You just fold the object over and it have to line up with itself perfectly if you folded it along that line. So there's 1, and then these would be a line of symmetry like coming down like that right there, so you could fold that thing
It's
over.
only half as many points because, like,
Yeah,
this
because
line is
that
the
one
same
goes
as
all the way
that
through.
one, yeah.
Yep. All right, what is the area of the stained glass panel to the nearest 0.1 square feet? So they're asking for the area of the whole thing. I want the formula. I'm not telling you it is.
Let's say a circle.
Equals
2 pi r squared. I don't know. Pi r squared.
No, you guys gotta know these.
Ah.
Circumference.
Well,
2
circumference
pi
is-
r. Area. Pi r squared. You remember this one is pi r squared because squareds are always areas. That's how you remember. Squareds are always areas. Pi r squared. Circumference 2 pi r. Okay, don't forget that. So area 2. Oh wait, pi 1 squared
Just 1.
is 3.14.
Yeah. It's just,
Actually 3.1415 blah blah blah, but they ask you to go the nearest whatever. So
Oh my gosh, I know a girl named Kaya.
Kaya wants to install a new circular stained glass window in her living room. The design of the window will be identical to that of the panel. The diameter of the new window will be 75% longer, 75% longer than the diameter of the panel. The new window will be how many feet in diameter? Okay, so my new window, the diameter is the old size,
You're off the screen.
my old
That's
size,
screen time.
plus
Well, that's how much,
75% more.
that's how many feet longer it is, yeah.
There's my equation. I have the old size of it plus 75% more. Or if you want, what could you multiply by?
0.75. I don't know. 0.25.
Didn't you just do 2
0.25?
times 0.75
Plus.
and add it together?
Plus.
You could. There's a bunch of ways of doing this.
Yeah.
You can either take the old size, which is 2, plus 75% of the old size, it's 75% bigger, or you could do 1.75
Then you add, so like,
times the diameter of 2 and get
plus 2.
I'm
Which was
confused.
the old
What,
length was, 'cause it's
1.75?
It's 70%
Yeah,
longer,
where's the
and that's
one?
75% of it.
Where did the
2 was
one?
1.5.
The old size is
Point.
1.
All right, this always confuses people. Now
That's the
look,
radius.
the diameter of the new window will be 75% longer than the diameter of the panel. What that means is you have this old distance, and then you have 75%, which is about from there to there, you have 75% more of that. So if the old distance was 2, I'm gonna have to add to that 75% of 2, which is 1.5. The answer is 3.5.
Okay, so what was?
Or the old plus points, I mean, these are all ways to do, this is a percent increase problem.
I don't get how your old size
Okay,
is
so let's,
1, but also
okay,
2.
stop, let's do it in close.
No.
No, just stop. Just stop. You really like this prom dress. It was $100. But the prom dress just increased by 50%.
That's dumb. It's
How much you gonna
150.
pay? It's what?
150.
We just did the same thing.
Oh, it's so stupid. I get it though.
We just did the same thing. It was 2. It just increased by 75%. What is it now? You have to add,
1.5.
you have to add the old,
This-
you have to start
they
with the old
should
plus the
Say it like
new. They should use a prom dress and then you get it right.
yeah,
absolutely.
and you should have someone like speaking it to you instead of reading it on paper.
That'd
I'd
be a
help
lot
as
easier
well.
than
Yeah.
Gower.
I agree.
He needs that.
Gower, get a prom dress.
Gower, yeah, just prom dress. We'll do
Bring
football.
Gower to prom.
See, that'd be nice. We do all football examples for you, sports examples. We do like cheer examples. We do like, that'd be awesome. That'd be good. All right.
Yeah, no.
The flyer weighs this.
You had a microphone, and the new microphone is 75% louder than the old microphone. How loud? How many decibels are you? All right, here we go.
Did you know elephants communicate in infrasound?
All right, I did not. In the figure below, AB is parallel to CD. I'm gonna mark them parallel. AE bisects BAC. A to E bisects BAC. Look at what I did for bisect. I put those little ticky marks on there.
Oh, so they're the same.
Yeah, bisects means cuts it perfectly in half. And C to E bisects ACD, so these two are the same also.
Fuck, it's 82.
Okay, BAC is 82. It wants to know what is the measure of AEC, so it wants that angle in there, and you don't know it. So this is a 100% geometry problem. So do you know any measures?
You know that the little A one is 8.
You mean 41 and 41?
Well, it's 80. Oh well, I guess you just cut it.
Because they're equal.
Fuck. It's fuck.
Mhm.
Whatever.
What else you know?
Wait, yeah, so that's split up into 41.
Oh wait, isn't the whole angle of C?
Those are
180
parallel, so that's
minus
41 as
82.
well.
Yep. She remembered from yesterday, these two angles are always supplementary. So this angle down here is 180 minus 82 degrees, which is 98 degrees. So each one of these little chunkers here is 49.
Can you just explain that again? Because I'm not doing
Yep. Angles from parallel lines, angles that are in a row, always add up to 180. So if that one's 82, that one's gonna
Oh, I
be
see
98. They're always that way. If you ever have parallel lines cut by a
Divided by
transversal,
two.
they use these two a ton on the ACT, and those two side-by-side ones always add to 180.
I like that.
That's always the case. So she knew, she remembered from the other day, if that's 82, these two side-by-side ones are 98. So, and then that's 49 and 41. So now we need that E, and that's just 180 degrees in a triangle. Subtract what you already have. 90. All right, I'm gonna draw two common pictures from circles. I want you to just draw these pictures and then you can decide which one to use. Okay, for circles, if this angle was 80, this arc is 80. And for circles, if this angle is 80 here, then this one is 160, the arc. The rule is central angles equal the arc. Inscribed angles are double the arc. So now you can decide on this one, how to get to that. And there's a couple ways of doing it. You can kind of choose how you want.
Would you have to find the arc length?
So that's, it wants, what is a degree measure? Okay, I'll just read it. In the circle below, shown below, chords TR and QS. TR and QS intersect at P, which is the center, and the measure of that angle is 30. They want to know what the degree, they want to know how many degrees this arc is.
It's just 60, isn't it?
It is. How'd you get it?
Yeah.
Because 60 is the same, like they're equal on both sides, and it's from the center, so it has to stay 60.
Oh, so that's 30, so you're
Or,
saying
yeah, I
that's,
did that.
that's
Double
60,
30,
and
yeah.
then those two are the same.
And then
Yeah, the other way I was thinking about it is, this little triangle down here would be isosceles. So that'd be a 30-degree angle down there also. And then that means that arc up there is double that, or 60 degrees. If you go from on the circle up, you get doubled it. If you go from center of the circle out, you get 80. What's wrong? You don't get it? Yeah, we didn't do a ton with circles in geometry. I think this was maybe the COVID era. But these two radii are always the same in a circle. So because those two radii are the same, those two base angles here would be the same. So it makes sense that both of those are 30. And if you start with the angle on the circle, when you go up to the arc, you double it to get to 60. So it would have to be a 60-degree angle. That's just how it works. All right. All right. 49. Now we're getting into the separation problems, and by separation problems, I mean this is the 29, 30, 31, 32 range. This is just where we're at. And if you get to these and you're able to knock a couple of these out, this is where it starts jumping. This is where your ACT average starts jumping. So hopefully we can knock out a couple of these. All right, so 49, for what value of A would the following system of equations have an infinite number of solutions? Do you remember anything about infinite number of solutions from two
You
equations?
need to equal the same thing, right?
They need to be equal. So if I can make this here equal this, I bet I can look at them and tell what A is. I probably won't even have to do any math. So is there anything that would turn this equation more like this equation?
Like 8 times 3.
So the first equation here would be 6x minus 3y equals 24. And I'm just going to rewrite the second equation, 6x minus 3y equals 4a. And now I can tell what a value would actually make that happen, which is what?
Reagan, you are getting set apart right now.
6.
I'm being pushed forward in my math section.
So, I mean, the takeaway here, infinite number of solutions, this little item here, same line. Same line. Okay, do you guys remember linear programming from Algebra 2? This whole question is about linear programming. You guys remember doing that? You had to graph, you had to shade, you had to find the points, you had to plug the points in. This whole question here is an Algebra 2 question straight up. And I think I have enough time on this one. All right, so I'm gonna have to read this one. Marcia makes and sells handcrafted picture frames in 2 sizes, small and large. It takes her 2 hours to make a small frame and 3 hours to make a large frame. The shaded triangular region shown below is the graph of the system of inequalities representing weekly constraints Marcia has in making frames. For making and selling S small frames and L large frames, she makes a profit. I don't know if you guys remember the profit statement from this linear programming system. This is 100% Algebra 2 linear programming. So they actually put a series of questions about your linear programming from that. So we have this. Does anybody remember where max and min profits occur? They always occur in these specific spots. Nope, there's specific spots where they occur. Do you guys remember? Maximum and minimum values, maximum and minimum profit values always occur at specific spots. They always occur at vertices of the region.
What does that mean?
It's either here or here. That's going to be one of your spots is going to be your max profit spot. I don't know if you did that, but you should have at some point done a linear programming problem where you had to actually plug these 2 vertices into the profit statement to figure out what the answer was.
No, I definitely had my concussion during this, and then he still made me
All right.
do all of it on the test.
Oh, I do.
Here we go. The weekly constraint representing by the horizontal line segment containing 9-2. The weekly constraint horizontal line segment containing 9-2 means that each week Marcia makes a minimum of that. So which one is that going to be? 9-2, is that 2 large frames? Yep. 9 large frames. 9, bleh. Look at that. Number of small frames is left, right. Number of large frames is up, down. So this is large and this is small. So 2 large frames, a possibility. 9 large frames, nope. 2 small frames, nope. 9 small frames, yep, could be that one. 11 small frames, nope. So here we go. The weekly constraint represented by the horizontal line segment. Which one do you think it is?
I said 9,
Yeah.
Wait.
but I don't know why. I just said 9 because it
Horizontal,
felt right.
vertical. That's what I got.
Horizontal line segment is
It's
this.
way. Yeah, that's a 9.
And S is for small.
Okay, that's up, down. Which one of these 2 is up, down?
9.
Up,
No.
down.
Or up, down 2, sorry.
two.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, I
That's
think
two. What? No, by the horizontal,
Yeah.
which is this
Horizontal.
way. Horizontal.
This line segment here,
Oh, but it hits it. Oh, wait, it hits it too.
this line segment that hits at 2 represents 2 large
I would
frames.
not got
I
that
would
right.
assume, if you're
I know.
reading horizontal, you're going.
X value.
9 over.
Immediately
Yeah.
would have assumed that. Yeah.
That's a tricker.
It's a big tricker.
Charlie Campbell said no, it's not.
Yep, Charlie Campbell said no, it's not.
Yeah.
All right, for every hour that Marcia spends making frames in the second week of December, for every hour that she spends in the second week of December, she donates $3 from that week. This year, she made 4 large frames from the reading. How long did 4 large take?
3 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
4 large times 3 hours.
You have to get in every category.
That's 12 hours.
God, really, Reagan.
And 2 small frames. Hey, stay with me. 2 small. How long? 2 small frames took how long?
I don't know.
2 hours, I think, right? So that's 4 hours. So if she made 4 and 2, that means she took 16 hours. And she said for each hour she spends, she was going to donate $3. So 16 times 3, I think, is 48. Okay? So that's how much she's going to donate. She's going to donate $48. This year, which of the following is closest to the percent of that week's profit that Marcia donated to the charity? Here's my question. Does anybody in here that just maybe you 2 that recently had it, or maybe you 2 that remember a while back, how do you find the profit that she made that week?
You gotta plug 9-2 into 30S plus WL, maybe?
You got to plug those 2 values into the profit statement, which is what Kari just said. So here we go.
So we do 2S.
30 times the S, which is 2, you're right, plus 70 times the large, which is 4. 30 times 2 is 60. 70 times 4 is 280. What is that? 340? 340. And then want to know what percent of that 340 did she donate to charity? Divide. What'd you do?
I got that, which is 340, and you take 48 over 340.
48 over 340. Yep,
It's 14.
it's 14%. Yep.
Wow, these would set me apart.
What's that?
These are set aparters.
Yeah, these are the hard. Yeah. So like I said, this is just good so you can see what type of questions are up here. Like I said, some of you guys want to make your hay on the 1 through. I mean, when you hit these, it is what it is. All right, what max profit Marcia can earn from the picture frames? Again, max profit happens at one of the vertices, so it either happens here or here. It happens at one of those 2 spots. So I'm going to plug both of those 2 spots into the profit statement, and then I'll be able to find her max profit. So I'm going to take 20. I'm going to take 30. 30 times this 0. Wait, 30 is the S. 30 is the S. That's your left, right. 30 times 0 plus. Well, it looks like 70 times 8. That's 560. And then I'm going to take 30 times my 9, and I'm going to take 70 times my 2. And all I'm doing there, again, is I'm plugging these 2 points in for that S and L from your linear programming. And that's 270 plus 140. 270 plus 140 is 410. So the most she can make is 560. She should choose to make 9 and 2.
Wait,
Couldn't you know that by just looking at it, since you already
560.
There are times when the other vertex is the max.
Oh.
Yes, that is probably looking at it and saying 9-2 is probably the most, yes. But if these 2 profit statement numbers were switched, it could come out that she should make 8. It kind of depends. All right, we're getting close. We're almost done. Let's keep going. We got 15 minutes left. Let's get through this, and then we'll talk and go from there. All right, the determinant of the matrix is equal to this. What must the value of x be for the matrix, blah, 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 to have a determinant of negative 16? Now, this one's actually okay, but I don't have, maybe I don't have a background with the determinant, but I do have a formula, and this happens a lot on the ACT where they actually give you a formula, and then I got a bunch of answers. Well, if I was to take those and I was to plug them in and I could do that formula, maybe I could find out. So let's say the matrix C was -4, 8, -4, -4.
Is this a side note or?
No, this is if I took -4 and I plugged it in for all the x's.
Oh, okay.
Like, what would I get? Can you apply the formula up above and tell me what the determinant is? -4 times -4 minus -4 times 8. I got 16 plus 32. I got 48 for the determinant on that one. Because I did 8 times D. I did these 2, 16. I did those 2, -32. And then those 2 minuses canceled out. I got a plus, and I got 48.
Why are we trying to figure that out?
What must you plug in to get 16 out for the determinant, which is that formula?
Oh, so it'd be 16.
So I'm just saying, if I have a formula given, I can plug numbers in. Now, you guys don't have a lot of background with matrices, and they're asking for the
How'd you
determinant.
get to negative?
How to get to what?
Never mind.
All right.
What I did is I plugged my -4s in on my calculator, then I did the determinant button of A, and then I got -4.
You got -4 for the determinant. If you plug -4, 8,
Well,
-4, -4 in, it shouldn't. Because
I
you
got
can do it that way.
-16, so I knew -4 was right. Was what I meant to say. Because when I went back,
All right, so I'm gonna do
Now
it.
into
I'm
matrix.
gonna do what you just said. I'm gonna go matrix.
Then put it in.
Matrix. I'm gonna go to A. A is a 2 by. Oops. I'm gonna go to matrix, and I'm gonna edit A. A is a 2 by 2, and it would be 2 by 2, so it would be -4, 8,
No,
-4, -4.
wasn't it negative? Oh, it was negative. I
They're
thought it
all-
was -8.
They're all -4s. It's +8. That's why you. That's why you got it. So now I'm gonna go to, you're right, I can go to matrix and I can go to math and it'll find the determinant of A for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, crap. I'm gonna quit out of there.
Yeah, 40.
Clear, and then I'm gonna go to math. I even struggle with the input of some of this sometimes. So the determinant of matrix A, and I did not get, yeah, I got 48 for that, which is what I
I
did.
fixed it, but then.
So the answer
No,
is
it's negative
this one, but my point is sometimes you can plug in answers. It's not -4, it's 4. You could plug those values in, you could apply the formula and go from
Why
there.
is it just 4?
Because it's
It's,
ends up being 16 minus 32.
4, 8, 4,
It's a
4. So
16.
these two give me 16 and these two give me 32 and the formula says subtract, which is -16 and that means 4 is the value of the determinant. All right, I think you can do the next one and it's actually pretty easy. 54, go. They're saying, which of the following is P? Well, what would you do to get P by itself?
And divide by
Divide.
3. Oh. Oh. So it's
So it's this one, K? Is that right? Let me make sure I'm gonna check my key. Yeah, I got K.
Wait, hold up. Let me write that down.
That one's algebraically doable. Okay. Now, I know some of the problems that are coming up. I'm gonna have you skip a couple that I think are not reasonable. I was able to do 55, but only by thinking about numbers. It said if x is greater than 1 is y is less than -1, and then I thought about what would happen if I plugged numbers in there. So this problem is completely a number sense problem. And by number sense, I mean, okay, I just thought about a number bigger than 1. I thought about 2, and I thought about a number less than 1. I thought about -2. And if I plugged 2 in there and I plugged -2 in there, would that be greater than 1? And the answer to that is no, so I knew it wasn't that one. And then I said, okay, if I took the absolute value of the x value, which was 2, and I squared it, okay, and I got that value, and I took this and I plugged it in, the absolute value of -1, would that always be the case? Well, if I plugged in a 2 there, but I plugged in a -10 there, then it wouldn't always be greater, so I knew it wasn't that one. And I just went through and I thought about plugging in numbers. I don't have an algebraic way of doing it. It was C, just because the rest canceled out. That would be a skip it. That would be Charlie Campbell type of
that
problem.
would take too long.
56, I was actually able to do that one and thought about it. 56 was a stumper for me. I wasn't actually able to do it. It was the one problem on this test that blew me up the most. I had no idea why the answer of 30, why, if x and y stayed the same, if just dropping the top down, why the areas would stay the same. It made no sense to me. And actually, Miss Burrow mentioned, hey, those two are a linear pair. So then I thought about redrawing the triangle. So then I put a 70 degree down here. So that was like a 70 degree. And then I thought this was y and this was x. And then I drew my other one up here where that was like 110. And that was the x. And I noticed these two bases were the same and their heights were the same. So then their areas would have to be the same. And I got 30. Again. That's just the type of thinking process.
How did you realize they were a linear pair?
Well, those two add up to 180. So
Okay, so
I tacked those two things on the side, and I put the y value. So they both had the same y, so I knew they're going to end in the same spot. And I knew that x and that x would have to be the same because they're both x's over here. So then I said, well, that triangle has the same base and the same height as that triangle with the same base and the same height. So since it said this area was 30 square meters, I knew that one had to be 30 square meters. Ugh. Here's the one I'm getting to, okay? I have seen law of sines and law of cosines so much on these tests, and you can do them primarily because they never make you memorize the formulas for these. It's awesome. So if you can find a law of sines and law of cosines problem up here, I would go do it because it's something that we've done. You've even done law of sines and cosines. It's been a while, but we have the formulas. I always see them provide them. There's law of sines, there's law of cosines. We have it. Okay, so let's read that. So I guess my point is you can scan for a law of sines and cosines problem and maybe pick up an upper level problem because they do this all the time. Triangle ABC is shown, the measure of given blah blah blah. Which of the following is the length in centimeters of BC? They want their x. Okay, let's look at it. We have to decide if this is law of sines or law of cosines. Do you remember which ones were law of sines problems? There were two. When given this, do this. It was on a cheat sheet. When given blah blah blah, use blah blah blah. Do you remember?
A non-right triangle.
Yep, it's not right. But I'm looking at like ASA, SAS, blah blah blah. Which one was law of sines? Spend half a second.
Is it on
There's no way you're laying down.
When given side, 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 or side, angle, side, you use law of sines. Which one is this?
Oh, yeah.
Side, angle, side. You remember that big, long cheat sheet where I said when given, there was a SSA chart, there was all that jazz? When given side, 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 or side, angle, side, use law of sines. So I can actually use this formula, and it's doable because I can go 18 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 18 times 12 times the cosine of 40, and circle the answer because this was c squared, and then I would square root. And they're not that hard. I think
Why
of
would you
the,
square root all of it?
because it's c squared.
Ah,
You're
gotcha.
trying to find C squared.
I think personally, because they provide the formulas and you have some background in law of sines and cosines, if you find one of those in the upper ones, they are doable. Personally, I think that is
Well,
the
it also
case.
just kind of told you what the.
Yeah, I mean, they give them to you, so I guess I would scan for those types. Okay, that is a good technique, because you have the background in it and you've seen it. Okay, and you guys have seen it in Algebra 2, and after you've seen it in pre-calc, then you'll be able to rock that. All right, what is the sum of the first four terms of the arithmetic sequence in which the sixth term is 8 and the 10th term is 13? You guys remember doing that?
Yeah, I forgot how to find. There was one on the.
Oh, you guys have the
I forgot how to
formulas
find it.
memorized.
No. But
Are you gonna memorize the formulas? No, we're not, so we're gonna do the blank method. The sixth term is 8.
No, there was one like down the first one, and I did it, but I don't know.
Good. 10th term is 13. Man, I wish I knew what they were changing by. 9, 10, 11. Oh, man, it almost changed by 1. Anybody know what they're changing by?
.33.
Nope.
That's a 1.33.
Nope. You're close. You're on the right track.
1 1/3.
I think they're changing by 1.25, because this would go to 9.25, this would go to 10.5, this would go 11.75, and then plus 1.25 is 13. So I know they're changing by 1.25. I can look at that and tell, just because I have math sense.
Just 'cause
I
No, just math sense tells me, look, I went 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 spaces, and I was 1 short, so I knew I needed a quarter more. It's like, how would I get from 8 to 13 giving people money there? So I know it's changing by that, so now I'm gonna count it backwards. 8 minus 1.25 is 6.75. It's
I forgot,
5.5.
Could you plug this in on here?
You can.
Oh,
I'll give you the formula here in a second. It's 4.25. I think it's 4.25, and then it's like what, 3 and 1.75. And what do they want?
Sum of the first four.
So add them up. Add them up, and you get your answer. Whatever that is, 14.5. So I like the blank method because I know none of you remembered a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times the common difference, and the sum of the n terms is equal to n over 2 times a sub 1 plus a sub n. So what's your next choice? Blanks. Fill them in. Try to hammer it out. Okay. This one took me a while. We're gonna ixnay that one. The answer is 6. You can check out my reason why if you want to go back through it. And the solution set, I don't know if you guys remember like inequalities. you have to set it equal to the positive one and the negative one when you solve out like inequalities. So you set, what is the solution set for which the equations for all real numbers that are 5 units from -3, like which one of these would all be 5 units from -3? I thought about it like this. So if I had if I had like 0, all 5, here's 0, 1, 2, 3, -3, and then there's 1, 2, 3. So I'm looking for an answer set that is 2 and -8. So which one of these would yield 2 and -8? I don't know. I plug in -8 and I get 5. I plug in 2 and I get 5. It's that one. And I can tell just by plugging these numbers into that's what I'm going to get. So I have a key for this, and for some of you guys, I know how hard that last one is. That's not where you're gonna make your hay. What I would do is I would really think about like setting a time limit and just how many of these can you do in a set amount of time. How many of those could you get done, and